The night the hunter was buried, the moon refused to shine, dogs howled, goats broke their ropes, and in the silence of that fearful darkness, something moved. Not a man, not a spirit anyone could fully understand, just a shadow. And it did not stay in the grave. In the quiet village of Umukba, people fear only two things: the deep forest and the man called Dinta the hunter. Dinta was the kind of man mothers warns their children about. He was strong, he was skilled, but he was selfish. If he killed three animals, he would sell two and hide one. If a neighbor was hungry, he would lock his door and pretend to be asleep. Even the village elders would shake their heads and say, this one, if greed was a person, not him. One day, deep in the forest, Dinta chased a strange animal, a large black antelope no one had ever seen before. The animal stopped, turned, and looked directly at him. Dinta laughed. Today, my pocket will smile. He pulled his bow, but before he could release the arrow, a sudden wind blew. The forest went silent, and then a loud crack. Lightning struck, fire burst from the ground, and Dinta fell. By the time villagers found him, his body was cold. Burn marks surrounded him. But the strangest thing, there were no footprints leaving the place, only his. They buried Dinta quickly. No long speeches, no tears. Even one old man whispered, "Let him go and explain himself to God." We are tired. Everyone went home relieved, at peace, or so they thought. That same night, a woman named Mama Sadi was returning from the well. She adjusted her wrapper and muted. This night too dark, oh. Even NEPA has done their worst. Then she froze. Something moved ahead of her. Not a person, a shadow walking. But there was nobody casting it. Mama Sadi dropped her water pot. Jesus, I don't do anything though. She ran. The next morning, she told the whole village. They laughed. Maybe you drank palm wine before fetching water. But that night, three more people saw it, the shadow, walking slowly, past houses, crossing farms, pausing at doors, as if remembering something. Fear spread. By the third night, nobody was laughing. Men who claimed to be brave suddenly started sleeping with lanterns. Children refused to go outside. Even the village chief locked his door early. One young boy whispered, "I saw it near Papa's yam barn. It stood there like it was counting the yam." Another woman said, "It followed me. I ran, but it didn't chase. It just kept walking like it didn't care." The village was no longer at peace. Among them was a young girl named Amara. Unlike the others, she was curious. Fear did not control her. It only made her ask questions. One evening, as the village gathered for prayers leading up to Easter, Amara listened carefully. The elders said, "Spirits do not wander without reason." That night, Amara made a decision. I will follow it. Her friends tried to stop her. "Are you mad? If it catches you, who will tell your story?" Amara smiled. "If I don't go, who will stop it?" The moon was brighter that night, almost like it wanted to witness what would happen. Amara hid behind a tree, waiting. Then it appears, the shadow, gliding across the ground, silent, unbothered. Amara heart pounded, but she followed, step by step through the village, past huts, across the farm path, until finally the shadow stopped at the grave of Dinta the hunter. Amara swallowed hard. This is not ordinary again. Suddenly, the shadow moved. It stretched, twisted, and then it spoke, not loudly, but clearly. "I lived for myself." Amara froze. "I took, but never gave." The shadow flickered. "I had strength, but no kindness." Amara whispered, "Why are you here?" The shadow replied, "To remind the living before it is too late." The air grew cold. "Tell them to live better than I did." Silence fell. Then slowly, the shadow sank back into the ground, gone. The next morning, Amara told the village everything. At first, they doubted her, until one elder stood up. "I believe her. He looked around. We all knew the kind of man Dinta was. Another added quietly. And if we are honest, some of us are not too different. The village fell silent. Even the chief sighed. This message has reached everybody. No need for microphone again. On Easter morning, the church was full. People sang louder than usual, prayed deeper than before. Some even returned things they had stolen. One man walked up and said, "My neighbor, that goat I said run away, it actually entered my pot. I'm sorry." The neighbor blinked. "You mean I have been fasting for nothing?" Even in the seriousness, small laughter broke out. But change had begun. The final night. That night, everyone waited. Will the shadow return? The moon rose. The wind blew. But nothing came. No movement, no whisper, no shadow. It was gone forever. Days turned into weeks, and slowly the story of Dinta changed, not as a feared hunter, but as a warning and a lesson. Amara would sometimes sit by the grave and whisper, "You did not live well, but your message saved others." Sometimes the dead do not return to scare us. They return to correct us, because life is not measured by how much we wake, but by how much we give.